I heard that I'm the recipient of the Dan Lifetime Achievement Awards several months ago. DAN's president and CEO, Bill Ziefel, called to summarize some of the new Dan initiatives, and at the end of the call, he gave me the news. This recognition, quite simply, is the pinnacle of my professional life. I'm fortunate enough to have been recognized elsewhere over the years, and awards were typically related to some singular event or period of contribution to the greater good. But to be recognized for the entire career is altogether a different order of magnitude. To say I'm profoundly grateful to the Divers Alert Network and unreservedly humbled by this recognition understates the depth of my appreciation.
Dick is an amazing individual. He's intelligent. He's not trained as a physician, but has worked with and among physicians for decades. He is published in the medical literature as a first author, which is basically unheard of. He has trained thousands of physicians through the years and has really mentored a number of physicians in undersea and hyperbaric medicine.
In terms of my research interests, there have been two distinct phases. Through the 1990s, it was entirely laboratory-based. Moving into this century, it became entirely clinical. And we spent the first decade investigating the hyperbaric chamber's ability to treat complications suffered by patients who had been previously irradiated for cancer control.
We started with Dick many years ago and really put together the concept of NBDHMT. So it was a wonderful historic moment.
We did this through recruitment of an international consortium of participants. I think we had 6 countries involved. And in 2008, we published the first randomized, controlled, double-blinded trial that unequivocally demonstrated the healing effect of the hyperbaric chamber on radiation-damaged tissue.
Perhaps one of his most extraordinary achievements is that he single-handedly ran a randomized prospective trial on hyperbaric oxygen and radiation proctitis, which is the reason that people with those conditions can get treated with hyperbarics, because without that study, the insurance companies would simply say that there wasn't enough data.
So when you start reading about diving medicine and its history, inevitably you will see Dick Clarke's name. He is not just a prominent figure in diving medicine, he is living history.
When asked about a mentor, I can share this story. I had accepted a position at the International Underwater Explorers Society on Grand Bahama Island after a decade in the Royal Navy. And I found UNEXO to be the proverbial melting pot of visiting diving medicine specialists, scientists, and other experts of the day, no doubt amused by this young British guy offering to carry their scuba tanks and wash their dive gear as a premise to more questions. These visitors were the likes of George Bond, father of saturation diving, who said he could handle his own gear, thank you. It was Werner von Braun, the pioneering rocket propulsion engineer, who I safely brought back from his first night dive to the relief of everybody at NASA. There was the remarkable Bill Fife, the father of airborne intercept and hydrogen diving researcher, who patiently explained to me the role of the platelet. So actually it's more a case of mentors than mentor, and I remember them actually being consistently generous with their time. It was a magical time for me and the foundation for where I find myself today.
Dick is a real believer in teamwork, and to me the most amazing thing is, and I say it every time he introduces me when I'm teaching a course with him, and he always makes you look so good, you know, and I always have to come back and say, wow, I wish I could live up to that introduction that Dick has done. So he's always making you look good. He's putting the best forward for everybody around him, and you know, I think, you know, a rising tide lifts all ships, and I think he kind of feels that way.
He's a very generous, kind-hearted person. Many people around the world in the field, they know him, they admire him, and he's happy to lend a hand and share his knowledge, you know, if they ask. He's not self-promoting in any way, but he's definitely there to help the field grow and share his knowledge and experience. And he just has a way of doing it that makes people feel good, part of the team.
I'm one of the lucky diving physicians and divers who had chance to meet Dick Clarke. He has supported our department continuously, and even he has provided the monoplace chamber with its auxiliary equipments. He supported our residents who is specializing on dive and hyperbaric medicine. He will never forget his contributions to our society.
What's next for me? Well, as this ward might suggest, I am late in my career. That said, I do plan to continue my current activities with no clear and present danger of imminent retirement. I really enjoy everything I do and I'm involved in, importantly the high-value people that I get to work with.